Welcome to page 2, Unit 1, Lesson 4 of MAT086. Our objective is that students will be able to solve number and geometry problems by creating and solving linear equations. Skill 1, solve word problems by translating words into mathematical equations to solve for unknowns. It can seem like each word problem is completely different from another. Sometimes it helps to find similarities and group word problems by how they can be set up to solve. The following can be considered general categories: abstract, part problems, and rate problems. In abstract, numerical equations have numbers and mathematical operations in word form, and the variable is identified by the words "a number." Equations, by definition, are two algebraic expressions connected with an equal sign. So I recommend that step 1 is you find where the equal sign is in the problem. So the word in the problem could be is, results in, yields, and literally equals. Where that is the equal sign. Terms that are described before the equal sign of the problem go on the left side of the equation, okay? And terms that are described after the equal sign go on the other side specifically, okay? We're going to do examples of that. So that way you understand what terms are going on what side of the equation, okay? Step 2, then you're going to spell out, translate any actually spelled out words. We had a word problem that the first word is 86 in, I think it was statistics. And people are like, there's no number. And it's like, well, it's because it's spelled out. It's literally, it says 80-6 spelled out in letters. So make sure you're writing those numbers down. And X can represent the number, or in Alex, sometimes it's a G or a P or a T, but the variable, you need a variable for all the words, a number, okay? And then step 3, translate the spelled out mathematical operations. Operations, as in plus, right? You're adding something more than, I need a plus sign somewhere in that problem, okay? If there's a less, a difference, it's subtraction. Or less than and from, actually change the order of the terms as you read them from left to right. So we're going to practice that. And then multiplication can be times, or something is doubled, something is tripled, twice this, twice a number, or the product of is two terms being multiplied, okay? The word quotient refers to a division. And the first word you come to in a division is the numerator, and the second one is the denominator, typically, unless something else comes away, but that's what you can go with. Note these words may indicate parentheses are required because a distribution is necessary, and it's not going to say that, so it's a little hard to figure that out, but you have to just really look at the words very closely. So let's practice a few of these, okay? Example 1, it says, when 5 is added to a certain number, the result is 16. What is the number? In other words, use X. So on the tests and on your support work and on the final exam, you need to put a translated equation on your paper and then solve if it's required, okay? This is instead the word solve. Remember, we solve equations and we simplify expressions. So this problem has no context. It's not talking about printers or buses or golf balls or anything like that. So it's considered an abstract problem. So all we're looking at is to translate some things. So it says the result is, that's where the equal sign goes. And 19 is on the end. That means whatever's going on here is on the left side of the equation. So 5 is added to a certain number. 5 is added to a certain number. So you can put 5 is added to x, or x is, or this is also reads that way. X plus 5 or 5 is added to x. Either way, it doesn't matter. Then to solve, so I need that equation, and then to solve, you want to move the 5 to the right side by subtracting 5 or adding its opposite, and then combine like terms and you'll get 14 on that side. And it's always good to check when you have an equation. 5 plus 14, substitute that x. I'm saying that x is 14. So it better work when I put it back in for x. Substitute it in, add it together, and make sure it's 19 on the end. Okay? Let's look at this next one. If 28 less than 5 times a certain number is 232. So there's the is. There's my is 232. Okay, 232. Didn't write it out, didn't have the room. So this is where the equal size goes. All the words in the beginning are in the front or to the left of the equal sign. It says 5 times a certain number. 5 times x, 5x. Okay. 5x, 28 less than indicates a change in order. So it's 5x minus 28, because remember up here it said that less than and from are change order of the terms as you read them. So even though the 28 is here, there's a less than 5. So it actually, the 28's not first. So here's my equation here, 5x minus 28. That's what I need to write down, and then solve as you will. Move the 28 to the other side, combine like terms, and then get rid of your 5. And that's that. And you could put this in. 5 times 52 minus 28 is 232. Okay, so let's try one of these. I don't see any parentheses yet. Let's see. This one says 3 times the sum. Hint, parentheses are needed. Use x as a variable. 3 times the sum, that's kind of one thing, of 5 plus a number, that's kind of another thing, is, there's my starting point, the same as 6 times the number less 10. 6 times the number, it's like the easiest thing on here, less 10, right? Not less than, but less 10. So that's one side. Back over here, we had 3 times the sum of 5. So it's not 3 times a number. It's 3 times a sum. So 3 times something that's going to be summed together. And it's 5 plus a number. So x plus 5 or 5 plus x. So that's where your parentheses came in this problem. And then this one does not say to solve. But we can. I think there's some in the homework and on the test that just want the equation. So you're required to write this out and not solve it and put the answer in. But that's why you take notes. And when I look at your notes, I'll see that you did correctly write the equation down, because you'll get the wrong answer if you didn't. Okay. If you don't have these parentheses, it's not going to be the same thing, because this is distributed. Moved. And isolated. Negative over negative is a positive. And it doesn't reduce. Okay, hope that was helpful.